Okay, for 1 through 10 on your test review. Oops. Okay, 1 through 3 goes with this data right here. So we need to enter the data in our calculator and get these values that it's looking for. So remember again, stat edit. Make sure your list is cleared out. So we have 11, not 111. I'm telling y'all, my calculator is super sensitive. I'm sure y'all can get way ahead of me just by entering this stuff in your calculator, since it takes mine so long. And 25 is the last one. Okay, stat over to calculate. And questions 1 through 3 pop up right here on our calculator. Okay, the mean, 13.3. Okay, the mode actually does not pop up, but remember that's the one that occurs the most up here. So let's see if we have any number that is repeating. Okay, I do not see it. There's a 5. Okay, so our mode is 5. We have 2 5s up here. Okay, and the interquartile range is another one that is not exactly given to us, but we know that it is Q3 minus Q1. Okay, our Q3 is 20.5, and our Q1 is 5.5. So that leaves us with an interquartile of 15. Okay, for number 4, stem and leaf plot. Okay, we are going to type these in our calculator too in order to find the average. Okay, I don't know how much you have used or how much you've seen stem and leaf. We briefly touched on it at the very, very beginning, but not much. Okay, this is your tens place. This is your ones place. So if I have a 1, 0, that is a 10. 1, 2, 12, 13, 14, 15, and so on. Okay, there's a 2 in the tens place and a 0 in the ones place. 21, 23, 23. Okay, so on and so forth. I'm sure you get the point. 31, 38, 39. Okay, 52, 52, 54, and 64, 65, 68. Okay, it looks much cleaner as a stem and leaf over here than it does trying to jumble all these numbers together. Okay, so let's go back to our calculator and put these guys in there. Be careful adding them. You don't make a little mistake and put 113 like I have done on several occasions. $38, $39, and now onto our 50s. And our 60s. Stat calculate, and we are going to find the mean at the very top right there, 34.11. So our mean, oops. And apparently now my board's going to be a little sensitive. Okay, number 5 was that skewed issue that we talked about. Okay, remember we had 3 different types of skewed. We have skew left, we had skew right, and then we had symmetrical. Okay, symmetrical, we worked with the most. Okay, with our normal bell curve, our normal distribution, our percentages, all that stuff. Okay, that would be a perfectly shaped bell curve that looks like this. Okay, if we are skewed to the right, that actually means that most of our data is on the left. Okay, if you remember, it was the exact opposite of what you thought it was. Okay, if our data was skewed to the right, that means, or skewed left, most of our data was on the right. Okay, given that information, this guy right here, most of his data is on the right. Okay, most of his data is found on the right, which means that he is actually skewed left. Okay, it's opposite in your brain, opposite of what you think it would be, is what it actually is. You actually state where the least amount of data is located. Okay, flip it over. Good old Box and Whiskers, throwing it way back to middle school. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see some of these numbers. Okay, compare and contrast. If I am looking at them, I can tell that they have the exact same median. Okay, they have the same median. These values right here in a box and whisker is the median. Okay, these are also the same right here. Okay, that is the same. In this case, that is our Q3. Our minimums are the same. And our maximums are also the same. Okay, the only thing that is different is our Q1. Which would actually give us a different interquartile range. Okay, if we were to take the regular range, our max minus our minimum, we'd get the same value for both. Okay, but if we do the IQR, which is, remember, is Q3 minus Q1, we're going to get different values for both of them. Okay? Before I do question 7, which requires a calculator again, question 8, what percent of data falls within or between one standard deviation? Okay, think about our little chart, and that's 68%. Okay, 68% is within one standard deviation. Okay, that's one standard. What about 2? Do y'all remember what 2 was? It's 95%. And then 99.7 was the 3 standard deviations. Just making sure you have those written down. Okay, now let's go and put this in so we can get our standard deviation. Okay, remember that fancy little chart that I showed you, the Bryce and Brianna chart, where it was tons of steps involved, okay? Tons and tons and tons of things that we had to do, but not in our calculator, because it will do it for you if you type it right in here. 17. Oops, see? 222. Not part of the data. That would be a major outlier if y'all remember what outliers are. 222 on this set of data will be an outlier. Okay, standard deviation is my cute little O with the X, and it is 5.42. Okay, and we'll finish this bell curve. And then you can finish the rest of the problems, and then I will go over those as well. Okay, what range makes up 95% of the data? Let's go ahead and refinish filling in these little values right here. These little dots. Remember, this is 68. The next step is 95. And then the 99.7 is the next step. Okay, filling in these percentages. And my little baby 0.15 out here. mirror images of each other. The exact same things happening on both sides. The exact same things happening. So 95% range is from 130 to 170. Remember, one step away is 68, and another step is 95. So 2 steps away is 130 in this direction to 170. Okay, kind of a repetitive question for the next one. What percent is represented by 130 to 170? Just answer that, and it is 95%. And the last one, what percent is less than 170? Go to 170, which is right here, and everybody below that. Okay, so remember there was 2 ways you could do it. Add up the ones that you just highlighted, or you know that your whole curve is 100%, and you are excluding these two people right here. You're excluding the 2.35 and the 0.15, so you can subtract those, and you are left with the 97.5.